Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
You know, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Here we are
Yeah.
on Christmas Day,
Right.
diving deep into the poem that
You're all right.
pretty much shaped how we see Santa Claus.
It's true.
Talk about festive timing.
It's very festive.
Today,
Yeah.
we'll be exploring The Night Before Christmas through some different lenses.
Okay.
An Amazon listing for like a really beautiful hardcover edition.
Okay.
And then also a standalone review that just really captures what makes this story so timeless.
Absolutely.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
It really is.
We're not just looking at any Christmas story.
No.
The Night Before Christmas is like
It's
so ingrained in our culture.
It is.
That it's really influenced everything.
Yeah.
From how we picture Santa to even the traditions we celebrate.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
I never really thought about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us know the poem is The Night Before Christmas. But did you know it was actually published way back in 1823?
I did.
Under a completely different title.
Yeah, it was called originally
A Visit from St. Nicholas.
A Visit from St. Nicholas.
Yeah.
And it was first published anonymously.
Anonymously, that's right.
It's incredible to think
I know.
how this poem,
It's wide.
published over 2 centuries ago,
That's right.
continues to resonate so deeply with us today.
That's the thing about Christmas.
Yeah.
There's something timeless about it.
All right, so let's jump right into it
Okay.
and take a look at that Amazon listing
Okay.
for this hardcover edition.
Right?
You know, I always find the frequently bought together section interesting.
Yeah, me too.
This one suggests that people often buy this edition alongside the Polar Express
Oh, wow.
and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Interesting.
So I guess it's become like a core part of any Christmas book collection.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems to be a staple, you know,
Yeah.
for families who are building their holiday libraries.
Alongside all those other
Right.
beloved Christmas classics.
Right.
It's a classic for a reason.
The listing highlights the fact that this edition is illustrated by Charles Santore.
Oh, okay.
You might recognize his work from classics like Aesop's Fables and The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
They even point out the embossed cover,
Mm-hmm.
the 4-page fold-out illustration,
Oh, wow.
and Santore's signature vintage-style artwork.
That's cool.
And with a 50% discount, it's currently going for $9.97.
Wow. What a deal.
But let's move beyond the marketing
Yeah.
and dig into the heart of the story itself.
Okay.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
That's where the review we have comes in.
Okay.
It really focuses on what makes this story so special.
Because beyond,
Yeah.
the beautiful illustrations and all the marketing, it's
Right.
ultimately the story that captures our heart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the reviewer just raves about
They do,
the poem's peaceful tone and Santa's just like infectious joy. Even the mice are asleep.
Oh, wow.
I love that detail.
That's a good detail.
It really sets the scene for that quiet, magical Christmas Eve
I know, right?
that we all imagine.
That small detail about the sleeping mice,
Right.
it speaks volumes.
It does.
It reinforces that traditional image of a silent night
Yeah.
filled with anticipation and a sense of wonder.
Yeah.
The world is holding its breath
It really is.
for Santa's arrival.
Yeah.
It's magical.
The reviewer goes on to praise Santore's
They do.
amazing and detailed illustrations,
Cool.
highlighting how they bring this story to life,
Yeah.
especially for young readers.
Yeah.
And I love how they point out that the language is simple and fun to read,
It is.
even mentioning that children learning English would enjoy it.
Oh, wow.
It really emphasizes the poem's accessibility
Yeah.
and universal appeal.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so important for young readers
I agree.
to have those engaging visuals
Yeah.
to spark their imagination
That's
and just draw them into the story.
And the simplicity of the lidguid
Right.
and that rhyming structure
Yeah.
makes it so easy for children to follow along
Yeah.
and memorize.
Right.
And,
And who knows?
maybe even planting those seeds for
Yeah.
a lifelong love of poetry and reading.
Speaking of sparking a love of reading,
Yes.
this review
Yeah.
isn't just about
Mm-hmm.
the words and picture.
Right.
It also emphasizes the significance of the book as a potential family tradition,
Oh, wow.
something to be shared and treasured year after year.
I love that.
I think that's a key part of
I agree.
what makes the story so powerful,
Yeah,
wouldn't you say?
absolutely.
Sharing stories
Yeah.
creates lasting memories and strengthens bonds.
Yeah.
It's about more than just the words on the page.
That's right.
It's about the shared experience.
That's right.
The warmth and connection that comes from reading together.
Exactly.
And those shared moments become woven into the fabric
They do.
of family traditions.
It's true.
And create a sense of continuity
Yes.
across generations.
For sure.
It's interesting how this simple poem,
I mean,
written over 200 years ago,
it's true.
captures that feeling so well.
It does.
It makes you wonder, how did this shape our image of Santa Claus?
Right.
I mean, back in 1823, the idea of Santa was still evolving.
That's a great point.
Right.
Right.
You're right. Back then, depictions of St. Nicholas were varied,
Yeah.
sometimes stern, sometimes resembling a bishop.
Yeah.
But a visit from St. Nicholas introduced so many of the details
That's right.
we associate with Santa today.
Yeah.
His sleigh, his reindeer with their now iconic names.
I know, right?
And that bright, jolly old elf personality.
That's the one.
It really is. Like the author provided the blueprint for the Santa we know and love today.
I agree.
And all of that
Yeah.
combined with just countless illustrations and adaptations over the years has solidified that image
For sure.
in our collective imagination,
Yeah.
even influencing global perceptions of this holiday figure.
It's true.
Imagine if the poem
Yeah.
had painted a different picture.
Right.
A grumpy Santa, perhaps?
Yeah.
Or one who resembled a mischievous imp?
Yeah.
Would Christmas feel the same?
That is a fascinating question.
All right.
It highlights the power of storytelling
Right.
and how a single poem can shape cultural understanding
That's true.
across generations
Yeah.
and even continents.
That's a great point.
It makes you realize that our cultural icons
Yeah.
are, in many ways, constructs
Right.
shaped by the stories we tell
Right.
and the images we create.
That's such an insightful thought.
Yeah,
It makes you appreciate the impact of this poem even more.
I agree.
So we've talked about the history of the poem,
Yeah.
the charm of this particular edition, the heartwarming sentiments expressed in the review.
Right.
But there's another layer here, isn't there?
I think so.
It's about the tangible object itself. It's
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah.
Choosing this specific edition
Yeah.
with its classic illustrations and focus on quality.
Right.
It might be tapping into a desire for something more than just a story.
Yeah.
It could be about creating tangible reminders
That's true.
of past Christmases.
Yes.
Those warm and fuzzy feelings associated with the holidays.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
It's about the book becoming a repository
Right.
of family memories.
Yeah.
With each reading
Right.
adding another layer of meaning and connection
Yeah.
to past celebrations.
Right.
It's like holding a piece of Christmas history in your hand.
Absolutely.
It's powerful.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
And it's not just personal memories, is it?
Right.
There's a shared cultural memory at play here, too.
Well, that's true.
Think about it.
Yeah.
How many families have a well-loved copy of The Night Before Christmas tucked away somewhere?
Yeah.
Maybe even one that's passed down through generations.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And each reading, each shared moment with the book
Right.
adds to its richness and meaning.
Yes.
Becomes a tangible link to Christmas's past.
Exactly.
It is fascinating
Yeah.
how this seemingly simple children's poem
I know.
has become such a significant cultural artifact.
Precisely.
Wow.
And that brings us back to
Yeah.
the evolution of Santa Claus himself.
Okay.
We've touched on how a visit from St. Nicholas
Right.
provided a blueprint
Right.
for our modern image of Santa.
Yeah.
But let's dig a little deeper into some specific details.
Okay.
For example, the poem famously describes Santa as
Uh-huh.
chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf,
Right.
cementing that image
Yeah.
of a cheerful, benevolent figure.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
And it goes even further.
it does.
Describing his cheeks like roses and his nose like a cherry,
Yes.
creating this really vivid picture
Yeah.
that has been replicated countless times in illustrations
Oh, yeah.
and pop culture.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And let's not forget the reindeer.
Oh, yeah, the reindeer.
The poem lists all 8 by name.
Okay.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen,
Uh-huh.
Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen.
That's a lot to remember.
It is, right.
Yeah.
Before that, depictions of St. Nicholas's mode of transport
Why?
were more varied,
Okay.
but Moore's poem
Right.
gave us this definitive image of a sleigh
Right.
pulled by these specifically named reindeer.
It's amazing how those names
Wow.
popularized by the poem
Right.
have become so ingrained in our Christmas vocabulary.
Totally.
We don't even question them.
I know.
They're just Santa's reindeer.
Exactly. It's a testament to
Yeah.
the poem's lasting impact on our cultural imagination.
For sure.
And this goes beyond just the English-speaking world.
Oh, really?
The image of Santa Claus that emerged from A Visit from St. Nicholas
Okay.
has influenced depictions of him globally.
I hadn't considered that,
Yeah.
but you're right. Even in cultures with their own unique Christmas traditions,
Right.
that image of a jolly red-suited Santa often makes an appearance.
It does. It speaks to the power of visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
How a poem
Yeah,
can create such a strong and enduring image.
that's true.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
how has our visual perception of Santa Claus
Right.
evolved beyond those initial descriptions in the poem?
You mean like how those original details
Exactly.
have been reinterpreted and adapted over time?
Exactly. Think about the Santas you've seen
Okay.
in movies, on greeting cards and advertising.
Right.
They all draw on that foundational image from the poem,
Mm-hmm.
but they also reflect changing cultural trends and artistic styles.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
There are so many different interpretations now.
there are.
From the Coca-Cola Santa to the more modern, slimmed-down Santas
Right.
that we sometimes see.
And those variations
Yeah.
can tell us a lot about how our society views Christmas
Mm-hmm.
and how those views have shifted over time. For instance, the Coca-Cola Santa,
Right.
which emerged in the early 20th century,
Yeah.
reflects a more commercialized
Uh.
and perhaps even idealized view of Christmas.
Right. It's like each generation adds its own layer of interpretation
Exactly.
to the Santa Claus image,
Yes.
building on what came before, but also reflecting contemporary sensibilities.
Precisely. And this leads to an intriguing question.
Okay.
How do these evolving visual representations of Santa Claus
Uh-huh.
shape our understanding and experience of Christmas?
That is a fascinating question.
It is, isn't it?
It makes you realize that even something as seemingly timeless as Santa Claus
Right.
is subject to cultural shifts and reinterpretations.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And perhaps that's part of what keeps Christmas traditions feeling relevant and engaging.
Yeah.
They evolve with us.
That's a good point.
But at the heart of it all,
Yeah.
there's that enduring story, that sense of wonder and magic
Right.
that A Visit from St. Nicholas captured so perfectly.
Over 200 years ago.
Over 200 years ago.
Speaking of wonder and magic,
Yes.
the review we discussed earlier
Yeah.
highlighted the book's potential
Mm.
to become a cherished family tradition.
Right.
Something to be shared and enjoyed year after year.
It's beautiful.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment.
It is, isn't it?
And it speaks to the enduring power
Yes.
of shared reading experiences.
Absolutely.
And the reviewer concluded by calling this particular edition a must-read
They did.
for capturing the true spirit of Christmas.
Okay.
Do you think there's something special about experiencing the poem
I think so.
in this specific format
Yeah.
in a beautifully illustrated hardcover book?
There's certainly something to be said
Okay.
for the tangible experience of holding a physical book,
Right.
turning the pages,
Yeah.
appreciating the artwork.
Yeah.
It engages our senses
Okay.
in a way that's different from reading on a screen.
Yeah.
And in a world that's increasingly digital.
Right.
There's a certain charm to that.
Yeah.
A sense of connection to something more tactile and lasting.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
There's a certain magic
There is,
to physical books,
for sure.
especially those that become treasured possessions and hold sentimental value.
Yes.
They become more than just books.
Right.
They become vessels for memories and emotions.
Exactly. And that's something to consider
Right.
when choosing how to experience the night before Christmas.
Yeah.
Whether you opt for a classic hardcover edition
Right.
or a digital version.
Yeah.
The most important thing
Yeah.
is to engage with the story
Right.
and allow yourself to be transported by its magic.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the essence of the story lies in the words and the emotions they evoke,
That's right.
regardless of the format.
Exactly.
And speaking of the words,
Yes.
there are some specific lines in A Visit from St. Nicholas
Yeah.
that really capture that sense of wonder and excitement
Right.
that we associate with Christmas Eve. Would you like to take a look at a few of them?
Let's do it. Which lines stand out to you?
Well, one that always gives me chills is, "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse."
Oh, that's a classic.
It is.
It sets the stage so perfectly.
It does.
That sense of hush and anticipation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's the description of Santa's arrival.
Okay.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky.
It's such a vivid and powerful image.
It is.
You can practically hear the wind and feel the excitement.
It really captures the energy and magic of that moment.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the iconic line that describes Santa himself.
Okay.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
That line always makes me smile.
Me too.
It's so playful and captures that sense of childlike wonder that we
Yeah.
associate with Christmas.
It's a wonderful reminder
Yeah.
that even amidst the hustle and bustle of the holiday season,
Right. It's important to find joy in the simple things.
yeah,
And to embrace that sense of childlike awe.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
These lines and the poem as a whole
Yeah,
truly capture the essence of Christmas.
they do.
The magic, the wonder, the joy of sharing it with loved ones.
That's right.
It's no wonder the night before Christmas continues to be such a beloved tradition
I know.
for families all around the world.
It's true. It's a testament to the power of poetry.
Right.
How a few carefully chosen words can transport us to another time and place,
Yeah.
evoke powerful emotions, and create lasting memories.
Well said. And on that note, as we wrap up this deep dive
Okay.
into the world of the night before Christmas,
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for guiding us through this exploration.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a fascinating journey uncovering the history,
Yeah.
the symbolism, and the enduring magic of this timeless poem.
It's a good one.
It really is.
And I'd like to leave our listeners with a thought. As you gather with loved ones this Christmas, perhaps consider sharing a reading of The Night Before Christmas.
Okay.
Take a moment to appreciate the beauty of the language, the vivid imagery,
Yeah.
and that heartwarming message.
What a wonderful way to connect with the true spirit of Christmas.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe you'll even create some new family traditions along the way.
You never know.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
And to all our listeners, from all of us here at the Deep Dive, we wish you a joyous holiday season
Yes.
filled with warmth, laughter, and a little bit of Christmas magic.
A little bit.
We'll see you next time for another Deep Dive.